Well, okay, here's a first for us at Look Around You Ventures. Welcome to Civil War Digital Digest and Revolutionary Gazette. These two series work together, and for once we're able to bring them to you together and to bring you to a great place of American history that handles both eras, the West Point Museum. We are welcomed today by David Reel, the executive director here. Thank you for hosting us.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you for coming. We're glad you could be here.
Give me the short course. What is the West Point Museum?
The West Point Museum is quite remarkable. In fact, we are the oldest continually operated federal museum in the country. We have been operating as a public institution since the 1850s, but the museum existed prior to that, very much as a component for cadet education. And so academic area for cadets to basically explore as a laboratory. So we were commissioning portraits here in the 18 teens and acquiring items from battlefields that were brought back by graduates, and we've been doing so ever since.
Let's stay in history, and let's stay with our Civil War history fans. When this museum opens, who opens this museum?
So we opened the museum in 1854 to the public because we had a large amount of tourism that was happening. We were actually opened by the then superintendent, Robert E. Lee.
And where was the museum opened at compared to where it is today?
So we're actually in our fifth location as far as physical locations of the museum, but in the 1850s we were actually located in what they call the academic building, which was one of the structures up on Main Central Post of the Academy. That structure no longer exists today.
But this one does. Let's skip 2, 3, 4. Let's come to number 5. Tell me about where we are now.
Sure. So we're in a building now that's called Olmsted Hall, named after George Olmsted, class of 1922, who was one of our generous benefactors who helped relocate the museum to this location. It gave us a much larger footprint. We have a 72,000 square foot space. We have 5 floors of exhibits. We have a 7-story building, and we do the whole history of warfare. So it's a great location. We've really been able to exhibit more of our collection to the public here at this location.
Okay, well, history, we've talked a little bit for the Civil War fans. For the Revolutionary War fans, there is no West Point, but this place exists. Talk to me a little bit about the significance here at West Point in the Revolution.
Okay, so West Point in the Revolution, I mean, this was the place following the Battle of Saratoga in 1777 where they actually brought the captured ordnance and arms and munitions, and they placed them here for the fledgling army, if you will, and they were kept in stores. And we still have some of those items that were brought here during that time frame, and they're still on exhibit today.
Wow. As I look around, it's hilly and it's mountainous. It has to be something to defend. How did they defend this area?
So during the time of the Revolution, we have what we simply refer to as Fortress West Point. So it's made up of small forts, larger forts, and then redoubts that protected those structures. And they encompass the Hudson Highlands on both sides of the river. And that basically protected this as the geographic location where you have the dogleg in the river where ships would have to tack in order to make that turn and head northward up towards Albany.
Fantastic. As they have to tack, they're going to slow down, so they're under your guns for a longer period of time.
Exactly, right. A devastating fire that would be brought on them from both sides of the river.
Well, not a place I'd want to be if I were on the other side there. Let's come here today. I am here. What do I find inside as a guest?
You'll find multiple floors of exhibits that are open to the public. We have everything from George Washington's pistols to items of famous graduates such as Ulysses Grant, George Custer, John J. Pershing, Dwight D. Eisenhower, all the way up to our modern day.
Fantastic. And are we as the public your main focus?
Actually, the public is not our primary focus entirely, but it is a large amount of what we do. The United States Corps of Cadets is our primary focus. So we focus on the 4,400 university students here at the Military Academy.
How do you guys do that?
We do a program that we call Material Culture, which is where we actually take artifacts into the academic classroom, and we work with the staff and faculty at the Military Academy to make sure that the material we're bringing up is instructional as far as their course curriculum. But it's a great opportunity for us to use the Army's resources, its material culture heritage, in actually training the future leaders of the United States Army.
Wow, that's fantastic. You've been here for a few years. I'm not going to out you with the number, and I have more white hair than you do, but as you come through and you've spent time here, what's the thing for David?
I think each kind of collection area has different interesting pieces and artifacts. I mean, certainly the first flag ever captured by the United States Army, taken at Chambly, that's one of the King's colors. That's quite remarkable. As far as artwork, the portrait by Gilbert Stuart of George Washington, another remarkable piece. As far as some of the arms and ordnance, the French 75, that fired the first shot of World War I. All these items are on exhibit in the museum today.
Wow. And how does somebody get to visit you?
So we're free admission. We're open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday, from 9:30 to 4:15. There's no requirement for a security check, and the museum has parking available right in front of the building. We would always recommend that folks take the opportunity to check our Facebook site or our website to check for updates, because there are occasions where we've got the Corps cadets utilizing the assets of the museum, and the museum's not accessible to the public.
Well, David, thank you for hosting us. We're having a great time with your staff, and we'll bring some more episodes from behind the scenes here, but thank you for bringing us out front with it today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being with both Civil War Digital Digest and Revolutionary Gazette. This place is beautiful, both the outside and the inside. If your travels bring you to New York, this is a great place to find connection to American history, to Revolutionary War, to Civil War, from before we became a country until today. There's stuff for you to see. Come check it out.